are back at again, see my friend. Today, we're going to go over what is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time as we're on the road to WrestleMania. We're in WrestleMania season. This is Arcade, your hardcore casual fan. Let's go. Ooh, we got two triple threats with Daniel Bryan in them. WrestleMania 30, Bryan versus Orton versus Batista for the WWE Championship versus WrestleMania 37, Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. Both great matches, in my opinion, only because I think 37 had a lot more unpredictability because it could have been believed that Bryan, Edge, or Roman could have won. 30, we all knew Bryan was winning, so there wasn't really any anticipation, or not anticipation, but there was no mystery, even though Evolution is a mystery, behind the match. So, yeah, I gotta go 37 here. Ooh, we got WrestleMania 3, Macho and Ricky Steamboat for the IC title versus WrestleMania 10, Bret versus Owen, brother versus brother. I see WrestleMania 3, that match with Steamboat and Macho changed the game. It legit changed the game of how people perceived how to do matches. High pace, high flying, chain wrestling. Then you got Bret and Owen, who just had a very great match. And Owen went over. I gotta go in terms of what it did. I gotta go Steamboat, Macho. Ooh, two Shawn Michaels matches. I feel like this is not gonna be the only Shawn Michaels match. We got Shawn Michaels, Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, Hell versus Heaven match, and we got the career-threatening match, I'm Sorry I Love You match between Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. I gotta go Shawn and Taker. It was an overall better match, just up and down. Going back to Shawn, I knew this was gonna be the last time I seen Shawn, and we got Taker matches going up against each other. We got the Streak versus Career match at WrestleMania 26 in the main event, and we got Batista versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 23 for the title and the streak. It's gonna be controversial, but I feel like Taker and Batista is a better match. Only because Shawn and Taker really were just redoing what they did the previous year, and they were just countering each other's moves. But I feel like Taker and Batista is a bell to bell, 15 minutes. No rest holds, just fists flying, finishers, signatures, flying over top ropes, going through announce tables like it was physical. I gotta go this. I know this is gonna be very controversial, but I got Undertaker and Batista, a very underrated match at WrestleMania. Ooh, two Bret Hart matches. Bret Hart Stone Cold, which is considered the greatest match of all time, with the whole double turn, even though it wasn't a double turn, they were already their characters. And then we got Bret and Roddy Piper for the IC title at WrestleMania 8. I love the Piper-Bret match, but we all know that this match literally made a superstar with Stone Cold and Bret, with Stone Cold not giving up. Ooh, all right. So we got the iconic ladder match of Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon Chico versus the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35, which I saw in person. One match is more sentimental to me because one, I saw it live, and it meant more to me because this is the first time I got to see a black WWE World Champion, fully black World Champion in Kofi Kingston. However, I still understand how iconic and important the ladder match is between Shawn and Razor. However, we've had other ladder matches at WrestleMania after this that I think were better. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston is one-on-one that probably never get anything like that again, with a heel Daniel Bryan, by the way. But just a great overall match, bell to bell. Even though you thought Kofi was going to win, you still didn't know. And just that when he hit that Trouble in Paradise and then that 1, 2, 3, I screamed like a little girl. And Yeah, I don't know if a match is going to be able to outdo Kofi and Daniel Bryan. I'm not even going to hold you. The triple threat match at WrestleMania 20 with Benoit, Shawn, and Triple H versus the end of an era. Triple H versus Undertaker with Shawn as a special guest referee in Hell in a Cell. Fortune, fame, limousines. I feel like an overall better match. It's a triple threat. The overall better story is a Hell in a Cell. So it really depends on your preference here. To me, even taking away the whole Benoit, what he did, you know, I think in terms of, I always was just more, the triple threat, I didn't really have a dog in the fight. I didn't really care who won. I was more for Shawn, because Shawn is my favorite wrestler of all time behind The Rock. So I was more for Shawn to win. But even taking that out of account, I think that's just the story of Taker and Triple H and Shawn being the special guest referee with that super kick into a pedigree is one of the greatest false finishes in history. Not just WrestleMania history, in history. I don't know if there's really a moment in the match of the triple threat outside of the finish with Triple H tapping out. So off that, I gotta go end of an era match as being better. Career versus career. Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior versus Undertaker and CM Punk at WrestleMania 29. In my opinion, I think both matches are great. However, the whole career versus career match doesn't really hold weight since Macho really just wrestled maybe like a year later. He won a title a year later at WrestleMania 8. So had Macho stayed retired and it's been his last match, it might have hold more weight for me, but I think CM Punk and Taker just stole the show at WrestleMania 29, was the only really great match at 29, and it's Taker's last great match at WrestleMania, and CM Punk's last match at WrestleMania, unfortunately. So I think it just means more the last time the streak will ever be intact. So yeah, I gotta go CM Punk Undertaker here. Ooh, again, Shawn Michaels, man, he just running it up, run it. Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle, which should be a 5-star match. Dave Meltzer. And Shawn Michaels Jericho, two different stories and two different outcomes. Kurt winning versus Shawn and Shawn winning versus Jericho. Yeah, Shawn and Angle, just about who is the better competitor, and Shawn and Jericho more of Jericho's trying to prove that he's not in Shawn Michaels' shadow, as Shawn's trying to prove that he still got it. Man, they're literally two different matches, and I can really watch either of them. I really love both of them. I think in terms of an overall match, there's something about, I don't know, there's something about Kurt Angle and Shawn. Maybe because we've only seen them in the ring a handful of times, only in 05, but it just feels more special to me. I think the story is more intriguing to me. Plus, Jericho, in my opinion, Jericho and Shawn will have a better feud 5 years later in 08. So maybe that also is the reason why I don't hold it as in higher regard. But yeah, I gotta go Shawn, Kurt at 21 here. Ooh, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30 versus the TLC 2, the finale of the Edge and Christian Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys trilogy. Yeah, I gotta go TLC. Even though I think this is Triple H's last really good match outside of maybe his matches with Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose a year later. No, that would be 2 years later. 2 years later. But yeah, that TLC match is just iconic. Just this moment here alone is more iconic. So yeah, we gotta go with that. We got WrestleMania 38, Cody Rhodes' return to WWE versus WrestleMania 34, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka SmackDown Women's Championship. Which again, I think both nights, I think they had the best match of the entire weekend. I think Cody and Seth had the best match of the entire weekend, as Asuka and Charlotte had the best match of the entire night. So you got match of the night candidates versus each other. And even though I feel like the wrong person won in regards to Asuka and Charlotte, in terms of not in real time, not knowing who's going to win, I feel like it's still a very good match. But then Seth and Cody really tore their house down, and it's a great return for Cody after being gone for like 6 years. Man, I'ma still have to go. I'ma still have to go. You know what? If Asuka would have won here, I probably would. I know that's probably not how you decide what's the better match, but the finish does decide a match, how you look at it. And the fact that Asuka did not win here when she should have, because Charlotte did not need the win, does taint it for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go Seth and Cody. Ooh, hardcore match. Mick Foley finally gets his WrestleMania moment, speared through the table by Edge at WrestleMania 22 in Chicago versus the first ever black main event of WrestleMania by two black women for the SmackDown World Championship, Women's Championship between Sasha Banks and Bianca. Man, I love both matches for different reasons. Edge and Mick Foley is an Attitude Era match, and I was happy that Foley finally got his moment, even though he kind of tainted it by continuing to wrestle. And you got Bianca and Sasha, which I just think bell to bell was probably the best match of both weekends. Outside of maybe the triple threat, which even that I probably think it was better than the triple threat in some aspects. So it's difficult to call, but I've seen Mick Foley matches before. I mean, he had the same match 2 years prior with Randy Orton and 4 years prior to that, or 6 years prior to that with Triple H. So we've seen Mick Foley matches before, but Sasha and Bianca being the first black females to main event of WrestleMania together, that's history. And it was a great match. And Bianca crowned her, gave her a crowning moment. I gotta go Sasha and Bianca here. Oh, all right. So we got Rock Austin 2 for the WWF Championship of WrestleMania 17, the greatest WrestleMania of all time, versus WrestleMania 32, Charlotte, Banks, and Becky for the Women's Championship, the best match of that entire night, and the resurgence of the women's division at WrestleMania 32 in 2016. I gotta go Rock Austin. It was the end of an era. Now you're gonna put Rock versus Rock. Okay, this is so difficult for me because I think Rock and Hogan is a match that we'll probably never get again. They try to do it with Rock and Cena, but just the crowd, the time, just the two big stars of an era going against each other. But then you got on the other end, the end of an era again of Rock and Austin, Stone Cold's retirement match until he came back 19 years later. I think as an overall match, and I think it's more special. I gotta go Hogan and Rock because I don't think we're ever getting anything like that again. Speaking of that, we got Rock Cena versus Eddie Angle for the WWE Championship. This is also difficult for me because this is one of my favorite matches of all time between Rock and Cena because it's a guy that may be my favorite wrestler of all time versus my least favorite wrestler of all time. Legit. My first pay-per-view I ever bought was WrestleMania 28. And when The Rock won, I screamed like a little girl. Again, I remember screaming to my dad that The Rock won as like a 20-plus-year-old man. You're like, oh, that's cool, man. But then you got Eddie, who deserved this moment of being the guy, being the champion. Had a great match with Kurt Angle, who was on his game even though he was injured. Oh my God, this is difficult. But gun to my head, I think Eddie and Kurt doesn't really have moments that stand out to me outside of the finish. Meanwhile, Rock and Cena, that match, I know people don't consider it a great match because of, Rock was winded throughout and it kind of, the pacing was kind of slow. But just to see the Rock and Cena in the ring and them trade finishers, not trade finishers, that was the year later, but them to trade, going back and forth, and just the Rock went off the top rope and then Cena reversed it into a FU, and then Rock kicked out, and then Cena tried to do the people's elbow, and then the Rock got up and did the finish. Like, I think that's just a bigger WrestleMania match, a better match to me. Hogan Warrior at 6, IC title versus WF title. And you got the first ever triangle ladder match between the Hardys, Dudleys, and ENC at WrestleMania 2000. I literally just watched the triangle ladder match last night. But I've seen Hogan and Warrior multiple times. I think it's a better match than people give it credit for. But in terms of a match, I gotta go to triangle match. I just got to. So now we're on to the next round. We got Cody, Seth versus Rock Hogan. I gotta go Rock Hogan. It's a more of an iconic match. The triangle ladder match versus the triple threat match at 37. Again, I gotta go my era. I gotta go to triangle match. Hell in a Cell at 28 versus Undertaker Punk the following year. I gotta go Hell in a Cell. It's a better overall. It had more, to me, it just had more story to it. Even though I like what they did using Paul Bearer, even though some people consider it in bad taste. They kind of used Paul Bearer and paid tribute to Paul Bearer in a sense. And Punk, who was the guy, even though they didn't treat him like such, was the guy, champion for 434 days. It wasn't believable that if anybody could beat Taker, it could be Punk. But just triple threat, not triple threat, Shawn as special guest referee, Taker, Triple H, the Hell in a Cell, I think it just had more moments in it and a better story. Shawn Taker at 25 versus Rock Cena at 28. I gotta go Taker and Shawn. There's no doubt that was a better match. Y'all trying to be funny. So you legit put like basically what made both matches historic and put them against each other. So now I gotta decide what's the better match. Oh my God. Both of them are so good. Oh my God, both of the matches are so good. That is crazy. That is insane. Both matches are so damn good. Trying to think what had more moments. Like, you got Bianca using her hair and just completely slicing Sasha's ribs. Bianca doing the whole lifting Sasha from the ring, outside the ring into the ring. But then you got Kofi, who was diving all over the place. Then you had Daniel Bryan just being Daniel Bryan, being the American Dragon. So I think Bianca and Sasha has more moments. And is it a better match though? I don't know. Kofi and Daniel Bryan's a very good damn match. I think I'll say Sasha and Bianca is just a little bit better. A little bit better. Ooh, TLC 2 versus Shawn and Angle. That's tough. completely two different matches. Oh, almost blew a brain out right there. Well, I'm gonna take a brief intermission after that. TLC definitely has more moments because it's a spot fest, but Shawn and Angle, of course, is a better story. I think because TLC 2 is a culmination of a match, and Shawn and Angle is just the start of it, you can make the argument that TLC 2 means more. And again, it is really kind of the end of an era, as these guys will never really have a match again like this, as everybody would do their own thing after this. Yeah, I'm gonna go to TLC 2. I'm gonna go TLC 2. Ooh, now this is where we're gonna have fun. Both Austin matches. A lot of people consider Bret and Austin at 13 his best match, greatest match of all time. A lot of people consider Austin and Rock at 17 the greatest match of all time. Both have an argument. Both were really, Austin and Bret were kind of like the start of a new era, the Attitude Era. Rock and Austin's like the end of the Attitude Era, so it's kind of like crazy how to look at that. To me, as an overall match, if I'll be honest, I don't think Bret and Austin touches Rock and Austin. First of all, it's for the title. You got the two biggest stars of all time at the greatest WrestleMania of all time in the main event. Even with the finish, I still feel like Rock and Austin is better. I really do. So now we got Taker, Batista versus Steamboat and Macho. This is difficult, but in terms of a match that I will watch, and I just think overall, is a better match. I gotta go Taker Batista at 23. I just got to. So now we're on to the next round. Triangle ladder match at WrestleMania 2000 versus Rock Hogan at 18. I still gotta go Rock Hogan because we have seen ladder matches before and after, but we've never seen Rock and Hogan a match like that. We got TLC 2 versus Sasha and Bianca. Now this gets intriguing because the Attitude Era is my era, and gun to my head, I probably would watch TLC 2 first before I watch Sasha and Bianca. But actually, there's no but. There's no but. All right, so we have Shawn and Taker at 25 versus Taker and Triple H at end of an era at 28. I still gotta go Taker and Shawn. Just the match itself, it's still like just nothing like it. Ooh, now we have two matches for a title. Both are physical throughout, no rest holds, balls to the wall, pause. Both are trying to prove that they're the best in the world. But in terms of the meaning of the match, everything surrounding it, going into it, the actual match itself, still gotta go Rock Austin at 17. Rock Hogan at 18 versus TLC 2. Okay, so this is where this is where I think only I love Rock and Hogan, but I can only do so much with, the crowd was crazy, like I can only do so much with that. But TLC 2 is like insane, like nothing. Even though they did ladder matches and TLC matches prior to this is really a culmination. Yeah, I gotta go TLC 2. I gotta go TLC 2. Oh my God, these are legit my 2 favorite matches of all time. Rock Austin at 17 versus Shawn and Taker at 25. I think overall as a match, had Rock and Austin ended clean, whether Austin beat Rock clean or Rock beat Austin clean, I probably would think differently. But this is where I again gotta go to the finish does play a part in how I view the match. And Rock and Austin is damn near a perfect match. I still feel like McMahon being in there slightly, like a small percentage taints it. Gotta go Shawn and Taker at 25. So now the final round, we got Shawn Michaels versus Taker at 25 versus the TLC 2 match at 17. It could really go either way. Again, you got a spot fest with TLC 2, the combination of the greatest tag team division in its time, versus Shawn and Taker, who are the greatest superstars and wrestlers of all time, going one-on-one for the first time in like a decade to really determine who's the greatest of all time for this streak. Mr. WrestleMania versus the guy that's undefeated at WrestleMania. I gotta go Shawn Taker. It's just the overall as a match, it has its spots. It still tells a story. It's for the streak. It leaves you on the edge of your seat. And you don't have to, even though Taker almost killed himself and Shawn almost killed himself. Yeah, I gotta go Shawn Taker at 25, man. So that's why I feel it's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Let me know who you had. What will be your final 4, your final 2, then your number 1. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things are the things. Welcome to the high, bitch. There's Hayes Arcade, your hardcore casual fan. And if you're not down with that, I got 3 words for you. Just bring it.
I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.